This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Georges Antoine Kurtz is an important character in the novel Heart of Darkness. Marlowe is the narrator in the novel, and he sets the stage for the story by saying, "The conquest of the earth," which mostly means the taking it away from those who have a different complexion or slightly flatter noses than ourselves, is not a pretty thing when you look into it too much. This implies that the author is much inclined in portraying the world as a place where victory does not matter much as compared to the joy attained in developing human relations. The author does not give much value to the character of Kurtz. He is portrayed as a dealer in ivory who is sent to Congo Free State by a shady company from Belgium. Kurtz is indeed a charismatic character who, by using advanced technologies, turns himself into a literal demigod for the tribal people that lived around his station. In this manner, he was able to collect large quantities of ivory from the local people and soon becomes very popular in the entire region. The Belgian company's general manager, who is stationed along with Kurtz, becomes jealous of him and plans to stage a conspiracy to get him out of his way. It is evident after reading the entire book that Kurtz is a man with several talents. He is a painter, writer, and politician in the making. Many of the major themes in the novel are related to the character of Kurtz and his actions. He is a true example of a person with a heart filled with darkness. His actions reveal to Marlowe, as also to the reader, the decadence to which humans can fall. Kurtz is in full authority at the inner station, which is the company depot in the deeper interiors of the Congo Free State. Kurtz establishes his expertise in extracting maximum supplies of ivory from the natives, which are more than what is collected by all the other managers. He is also dreaded because of his contacts with the higher authorities in the company, as also because of the unethical practices he adopts while operating in Congo. Marlowe meets Kurtz at a time when he is already in bad health and passes away before he can be taken back to Europe. Although at first Kurtz has a gracious objective in believing that he could assist the natives in improving their culture, his experience in the interiors transforms him and his philosophies entirely. A painting by Kurtz has been included in the book that depicts a blindfolded woman holding a torch against an almost dark backdrop, which symbolizes his past views. Kurtz is also a writer who writes pamphlets about native civilizations. He is aptly described in Marlowe's words, "But his soul was mad. Being alone in the wilderness, it had looked within itself and, by heavens I tell you, it had gone mad." The quote is indicative of the loneliness that Kurtz experiences and depicts the intensity of his emotions in being away from his homeland. However, while Kurtz is in Africa, he starts adopting corrupt practices, which is evident from how he scribbles on his pamphlet to exterminate the natives by calling them brutes. He induced the natives to pay reverence to him and set up rites and rituals that indicated his nature as a tyrant. When the narrator in the novel, Marlowe, sees Kurtz, he becomes sick with jungle fever and is on the verge of dying. Marlowe gets hold of Kurtz and attempts to take him to his steamboat along the river. Kurtz passes away while in the boat by uttering the words, "The horror! The horror!" This indicates the horror situations that Kurtz experiences. The character of Kurtz conveys symbolism that is important in understanding his complex qualities as a human being. The background of Kurtz is aptly described by the author. All Europe contributed to the making of Kurtz, and by I learned that most appropriately the International Society for the Suppression of Savage Customs had entrusted him with the making of a report for its future guidance. Indeed, Kurtz had gradually transformed himself into a savage who had no sentiments and emotions for fellow humans. The painting by Kurtz represents taming the impulse by way of compassionate imperialism. The constant connection that Kurtz has with darkness depicts the reversal of his plans, with his life being surrounded by darkness. This was aptly implied when Marlowe stated that the wilderness ran through Kurtz's veins. Kurtz is depicted as being constantly related to shadows, which reveals that he epitomizes the archetype shadow of Marlowe. The half-dead state of Kurtz has been explained in different ways. He is portrayed as being unable to walk properly and being as light as a child despite his great eminence. As acknowledged by Marlowe, Kurtz is primarily thought of in terms of his voice only. This essay, critical writing on the character of Kurtz in Heart of Darkness, was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one, on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for.